Welcome again to my channel. I'm JW, and today I would be giving an insight on the current happenings in the cryptocurrency world, and today I would be focusing on XRP. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to my channel for more update. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. As always, this is JW, here to bring you daily crypto news and analysis. Today we're going to delve deep into the rabbit hole of Thunes FINRA, or the Moha Loop. We're talking about City Swift Ripple, or XRP, and there will be a ton of information packed into this video. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Before we get started, I hope everyone is having a beautiful day or night. If any of you are out there in the world, please note that the world is changing quickly, with some of the regulations pertaining to instant payments being one of the changes. In a video that was actually from Anderson yesterday, we saw banks in a state of panic. To put it another way, banks have a deadline to meet and are limited in what they can do because there is only one option left: adapt or die. However, this post kind of alludes to the same thing and highlights how significant Ripple is in all of this. First, let's talk about why this regulation is important to Ripple. In 2021, Ripple released the Last Mile Playbook, where they discussed the last mile problem. I actually have that over here, right? This is the last mile playbook speed. Although this isn't always the case, in many parts of the world, efficient payment processing and cross-border transactions depend on transparency and liquidity. Your company may create unique value propositions in 14 important markets, including Mexico and Thailand, with the aid of the simple guide. Nigeria and the EU again, this was a significant playbook. I don't want to open it because it contains a lot of unnecessary information, but what interests me the most are the areas that are mentioned. Similar to Anderson, the largest opportunities were found in the EU, UK, and India, each scoring 4.5 out of 5. Ripple wrote for competitive edge access C instant for real-time payments. Now that the EU is implementing new regulations for real-time payments, banks will be forced to provide real-time payments to their customers in the EU, as seen in the tweet below. As I've said before, the only option is to adapt or perish. Combine this with the fact that the EU will have clear regulations governing cryptocurrencies in 2024. For instance, Ripple will be able to passport its services throughout the EU by registering in Ireland. For those two reasons alone, the outlook for cryptocurrencies in the EU is very promising, especially for Ripple. Below is a picture of Europe circled at 4.5. The UK is also at 4.5, and India is, of course, at 4.5. On the right slide, we have the competitive
circled as a 4.5. You also have UK 4.5. And then, of course, you also have India at a 4.5. On the right slide here, we have for competitive edge, access SEPA instant for real-time payments. And this is the winning move. Now, it's interesting that Ripple will say like that's the winning move if they had no connection to it at all, which I find very interesting. But regardless, right, like this has been my idea as well. In terms of like regulations, it's forcing the hand. Most people are not aware of this, but I put out this post just recently where I said, regardless of what anyone says, it's clear that Ripple, Stellar, and Quant Network are three of the main players. Also, I could add XDC to this. There's a few names that could be added to this, but regardless, there's so much information out there around these three, including even, again, XDC Network. And I said like they are helping build the new financial system infrastructure. I will continue to hold a percentage of XRP, XLM, and QNT for the inevitable future. The real money hasn't even touched this market yet. The utility does not matter yet. Everyone laughs at utility projects and thinks that utility is just a joke. Regulations and standards are closer than ever. This is when all the connections and all the good news behind these projects become very important. You have probably heard the comments, all this good news, but the price goes down. It's because nothing is implemented and being utilized right now. The foundation is still being built, and slowly but surely the pieces are falling into place. We are in the digital gold rush. This will be bigger than any technological advancement in history. Everyone has been talking about AI and how big it will be, but everyone is forgetting that AI needs blockchain to be adopted at scale. Focus on the big picture. And yes, the big picture here is that guess what? The second that we have regulation and standardization globally harmonized, everything changes. Everything changes in that instance. Why? Because that's when these projects that we talk about, that we go deep into the connections behind, and we connect the dots, and everyone's like, why is the price not moving if this is the case? All of that now becomes significant. There's a lot of obvious plays in this market. When it comes to Ripple and XRP, it could not be any more obvious. And in the future, we're going to be looking back and we're going to say, that was one of the most obvious winners. It's almost like if you look back on some of the companies that are the largest names right now, and you're like, why couldn't I see it then? Why couldn't I see how big that was going to be then, but I can see it now? That's how a lot of these projects and a lot of these companies will look in 5-10 years. When we talk about Ripple, okay, I want to let you in on the connections, because now that we're starting to see regulations roll out, and ISO 20022, that's the standardization, that's the harmonization globally in terms of standardization. Regulations, it's going to take a little bit of time. Probably within the next 2 years, we should have full-on global regulations. By the end of 2025, I would argue that we have global regulations. That's my timeline. But when we talk about Ripple, right, they're connected to Finastra. Welcome to the payments connectivity marketplace. Maintain your institution's competitive advantage in cross-border payments, right? So this is a massive opportunity. 21 trillion cross-border payments market value, 224 billion cross-border payments revenue. Here's the lost revenue, 280 billion, 50% P2P market share by 2024 as well. Increase revenue and win back customers. But as new competition enters the market, there's potential for 280 billion in lost revenue by 2025 for traditional and complacent banks. And banks' P2P market share is projected to drop to 50% by 2024. Add in soaring transaction fees and record high operational costs. How can you increase revenue while delivering an exceptional customer experience? Now, what I find funny about this, right? We have easily connect to our pre-integrated cross-border payments providers. The key word here is pre-integrated. It's already integrated within their system. And when we scroll down, right, we can see the Finastra's payments connectivity marketplace, a carefully curated marketplace of payment rails, two keywords, designed to connect banks to payment providers with pre-integrated connectivity via our Fusion Total Messaging solution. It's your choice, no integration, transparent process. When we scroll down, right, it's time to modernize. We have cross-border payments keeping up with the fintechs. These are the two major articles here. Our providers, only 3. Interesting. There's only 3 providers here. And if we look at this, right, Ripple, MasterCard, Thunes. You know what's funny about this? I'll give you guys a second. What's funny about this is Ripple's already collaborating with MasterCard, and they're already collaborating with Thunes. How comical is that? All 3 of these names are collaborating together. Now, why is Finastra such a giant? I've always talked about it. Go to Finastra's website. I want everyone to do this. Go up here to the About section. Go to Our Story, right? This is why they are such a big name. They have 8,100 financial institutions tapped in on their platform already. They are at the forefront of the digital revolution. 45 out of the top 50 banks. They are one of the biggest integrators out there. Here's their breakdown of its time to modernize cross-border payments. The answer: bring greater speed, transparency, and cost savings through technology. All around cross-border payments. And this is the value of cross-border payments by 2027, 250 trillion plus. The growth is 5% per year. Where the market growing is occurring, B2B payments, which Ripple is focused on. Fintech stealing market share. Traditional banks stand to lose 25 to 30% of growing market to fintechs. Guess who's a fintech? Ripple. Case in point, Thunes modernizes cross-border payments, 130 plus payment countries, 79 currencies, 4 billion bank accounts, 210 cash pickup locations, 300 plus payment methods, and 10 times more cost-effective transactions. And again, why are banks losing ground? Well, it's because of transparency. It's a big one, but cost, again, speed. Speed is a big deal. All of this is being revolutionized by fintechs and blockchain-based processes. Here's the cost of an international payment. They break it fully down. Again, annual cost minus FX cost, $120 billion. 90% of bank costs from managing counterparty bank relationships. Fintech technology reduces up to 95% of payment cost. This is the time it takes to receive cross-border payments. Up to 30 days for businesses. Consumers up to 10 days. Use of correspondent bank networks increases days sales outstanding by 7 days. And here's fintechs, instant to 2 days. When we talk about the opportunity here, it's night and day. It's time to modernize. But here's Thunes, payment infrastructure for a connected world. Now, you might be saying, well, why would Thunes tap into Ripple? Well, it's because when we look at what Ripple has been doing, they are revolutionizing cross-border payments beyond the means of all of these companies. But collaboration is key here. And even when we look at Thunes, right, they are a cross-border payments company. We have built a proprietary global network of direct connections to local payment brands for an improved payment experience. We connect the old systems with the new, allowing businesses and consumers to instantly send and accept payments anywhere in the world in any payment method. And again, to connect every corner of the world and make the global economy accessible to all. This is who they serve. They serve pretty much everyone and everything. Now, also, some numbers behind their network, like I said, 4 billion bank accounts, but 3 billion mobile wallet accounts as well. 80 currencies, 131 payout countries. And you can see some more behind this. Again, they serve pretty much all of the major customers and clients out there. For an example, these are their investors, but over here we have their customer list. Again, these are some of the largest players out there. MoneyGram's even on here. But when we think about this, right, like go back to 2022. We are excited to build on our partnership with Thunes Payments. And again, I'm not going to try to pronounce this bank's name. I would just butcher it. But this is one bank, for an example, that was extending RippleNet services into Morocco and the Greater MENA region with Thunes. And this is all around cross-border payments. Thunes and Ripple have been collaborating for a while. And also recently, Thunes just partnered with Visa. And this is around digital wallets and bank accounts. This is March 25th, 2024. This is a big deal. Now, outside of this, right? Why are these partnerships crucial to know? Why is the connections crucial to know? Why is the integration part of all of this crucial to know? Well, it's because over here, right, as everything modernizes, cross-border payments, banks themselves, all of that, big shout out to Smoke Dog. I have 4 posts here by him. The first one is, as banks modernize to meet evolving consumer demands, crypto asset infrastructures will become more commonplace on the financial world. Crypto asset services will provide new business models that traditional banks can simply plug in to reap the benefits. Again, go back to Finastra, 8,100 financial institutions. When we go back to the breakdown over here, this is all integration-wise, right? When we think about this, this is very easy to integrate. It's very easy to plug into this because it's plug-and-play technology. There's no major integration that you have to do. It's just tapping into these new payment rails. Going back to that post, if we look into this, we have recently NASDAQ announced a partnering with DLT Enterprise R3 to build institutional-grade crypto assets and marketplaces. The more connected crypto assets become with the traditional financial fiat world, right, the size and the level of sophistication grows. Some banks have already moved into crypto asset infrastructures via venture investments in crypto exchanges and services. Furthermore, the banking sector is increasingly active in facilitating the digital asset trading platforms of tomorrow. This is often sparked through partnerships involving other banks, clients, and technology providers. These partnerships allow banks to explore crypto assets and the new business models they might bring, including platform ownership and plug-in services. Guys, plug-in services is exactly what a lot of these connections that Ripple have are. Finastra, Volante, even Accenture. Over here, technical connections to central platforms to allow third-party settlement from service providers. FedNow equals an infrastructure that will allow instant payment services to simply plug in to allow fintechs and institutions alike to combine resources to meet customer demands. Even Hedera could be mentioned here, right? Through Drop. Drop is a third-party player as well. And you can see the plugins being underlined there. It's a crucial component of the payment ecosystem. Over here, Finastra is an example of a fintech service provider that has plug-and-play functionality. This allows Finastra to offer a variety of payment solutions to credit unions that accept FedNow transactions. As you can see, Ripple is featured as one of the services of Finastra. But all of the other two, MasterCard and Thunes, they're also technically exposed with Ripple. This is all Ripple. Finastra has payment solutions for the credit union market to allow them easy plug-and-play options to accept FedNow transactions. Also over here, Ripple simply plugs into existing structures and provides the rails to already regulated payment ecosystems. Here we have the quote. Also, Ripple does not replace existing relationships, but instead plugs into existing structures. For example, financial institutions that use Ripple must continue to rely on the bilateral agreements they had in place before joining Ripple. Ripple provides only the rail on which payments move. Ripple plugs into an already vibrant and regulated payment ecosystem. Here we have Ripple plugs into existing structures and serves only as a payment rail. Regulators logically treat Ripple as an entity that financial institutions install like software. Again, that's what this is. Ripple technically, when we think about this, right, like they could technically be a white label behind the scenes. You won't even know about Ripple because they're already tapped in on a lot of these endeavors. Like when we think about how big of an opportunity this is for Ripple technology and for XRP as well, because remember, XRP could easily be utilized through any of these partnerships, any of these connections. Think about how massive this could be. 8,100 institutions are tapped in with just Finastra alone. But then you also have Mohaloop. Mohaloop is open source software that gives central banks and hub operators a clearing and settlement system for inclusive instant payments. A Mohaloop powered system can connect and serve all financial institutions and therefore all citizens. This was just posted on April 1st. Guys, Ripple is a member of this. Sponsor members. Also, look at the other members. Look at some of the promoter members as well. But also, over here, March 26, 2021, remember, we're going back 3 years. This was winners of ISO 20022 hackathon, and Mohaloop won for its solution for using ISO 20022 to bridge the last mile and bring cross-border payments to users in emerging market economies who rely on mobile money transfer systems. Hello, Last Mile Playbook by Ripple. Mohaloop focused on the bridge, the last mile, and bring cross-border payments into those inclusive economies. Here you have the announcement from September 2020. Ripple joins Mohaloop Foundation in push to bring financial services to 1.7 billion unbanked. And we have them winning this ISO 20022 hackathon reward behind ISO 20022 to bridge the last mile. Come on. It could not be any more clear. And then also, November 2023, just a few months back, New Rails to New Worlds, building inclusive, innovative infrastructures for global payments. And this is the head of payments at Citi, Swift, and Ripple. New Rails for the new world, basically. Again, I just want to talk about how these are new rails all through this marketplace. It's payment rails, payment rails, payment rails, payment rails. And it's all about pre-integrated systems. And by the way, when we go back down here and we go to learn more about Ripple, this is all through the cloud. I just made a video talking about cloud-based platforms and how they are the chosen ones in terms of new integrations and new systems. I could not be any more clear on the idea that Ripple is playing a massive role in all of this. Everything changes once regulations and standardization are in place. Anyone clowning on Ripple and XRP at this point in time, they will be completely lost when things actually go live. And they will look back and be one of those people that said, wow, I can't believe the opportunity that I squandered by, being oblivious to the most obvious thing out there. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, so notifications on. Also, if you guys do want to go check out NordVPN right now, you can get 4 free months and you can save up to over $62 almost, utilizing my coupon NCashOfficial. You could also go to nordvpn.com/NCashOfficial, but I do have links down in the description below, as well as in the comments below, if you guys do want to go check them out.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel for more update.